Hi and welcome to my channel. So we only have 1 month from now to the start of the new season for the UK unskilled worker jobs or unskilled worker visa or seasonal worker visa. But guess what? The UK government has already dropped a bombshell announcement regarding how things are going to work this year. And this is a massive change. So if you're somebody who is out of the UK, for example, and you have been considering unskilled worker jobs to move to the UK, this update is absolutely crucial that you are aware of. If you're currently in the UK on this visa, it's also absolutely important that you know what the updates are all about, because I'm going to be dishing out all this information in today's video. So if you're new to my channel and you haven't joined this family, you're welcome. Take the opportunity to hit the subscribe button below, because you want to be the first person that is notified every single day when I drop a new video on here. I'm a massive fan and enthusiast when it comes to massive, fantastic opportunities to move to the UK if you're overseas, but most importantly, career progression if you're already in the UK. Now you're here, what can you do in order to work less, earn a lot of money, and retire early? And that's what my channel is all about, because that's the path that I have also pursued, starting as a carer 13 years ago to now working as an advanced nurse practitioner, which is the most senior clinical nursing job in the profession. So if you need one-to-one guidance, you need support with these processes that I've spoken about, or switching your visa if you're already in the UK, then you can check the comment section below. You see my contact details. There's my WhatsApp number as well as my email address, and you can contact me at your earliest convenience. You're also going to see a link to join my free newsletter so that I send that information directly to your inbox when it becomes available. You drop your name and email address and you are part of that newsletter, because you don't want to be reliant on the YouTube algorithm for such vital information for your personal and professional growth. So what is this unskilled worker visa? And by the way, with this particular visa, guess what? You need to make sure that you're ready, because it's a seasonal worker visa. You need to have your passport if you're overseas. I keep saying this. So leave a comment in the comment section below and say, I have my passport, because that is the first step. And it is something that it comes at specific times of the year. That's why I said the season is a month from now. So it's very, very important that I explain that. But like I said, drop a comment in the comment section and say, Melvis, I have my passport, because that's the first step and the first thing that you need to have. So this year, luckily, the UK government approved just over 55,000 COSs for this particular visa, which means that for this year, only a maximum of obviously 55,000 people can come to the UK on this visa, because this is one of those visas that has a cap every year. And if they realize that they need more people, they increase the numbers. If they realize they don't need so many people, they reduce the numbers. So when they reduce the numbers, it's always 40,000 people, but normally the maximum is always about 60,000 people that can come per year. So that season now is here, but there are very strict conditions and an update from the Home Office. Let's talk about the update first. And by the way, what is your situation at the moment? Are you already in the UK looking for better opportunities, or are you still out of the UK? Drop a comment in the comment section below. Just say in the UK or out of the UK, and I'll know that you're in the UK at the moment or you're out. And if you have any questions, you need more guidance about any of these opportunities, please drop that in the comment section below, and I'm more than happy to provide more information to better support you with this process. So the Home Office has indeed announced that most of those companies that were licensed to recruit overseas workers for this particular opportunity has unfortunately lost their licenses to recruit overseas. And the reason for this is something that is massive. And that's why I always say, if you're watching my videos and you're still out of the UK, don't be tempted to go for the easy option, get to the UK and be stranded. You want to take your time and do things the legit way. So leave a comment in the comment section below and say legit, because when you're doing things in a legit way, you're going to have peace of mind in the UK. I tell you that. You're not going to appreciate that until you're here and in this position. I know that. So what happened? So after the last season, many of the thousands of immigrants that came to the UK on this visa did not go back home. So because of the terms and conditions that come with this visa, which are, I think it's good to just highlight them. So there are two types when it comes to the UK unskilled worker visa. The first type is horticulture. So horticulture, these are people that are working in the farm, say harvesting fruits, harvesting vegetables, flowers, or cultivating. That's what horticulture is. So if you can apply at any time of the year to come through this particular pathway, but you can only stay for a maximum of 6 months. So you cannot legally stay in the UK more than 6 months on this particular type of visa if you apply for horticulture. So you may be sat there thinking, Melvis, but can I switch? Can I extend? What else can I do? You cannot do anything as per the rules today, which means if you come to the UK on a seasonal worker visa as horticulture, you get your visa for 6 months. After 6 months, you must leave the UK. You cannot switch, you cannot extend, you cannot bring your family, you cannot study, you cannot even work in another company. It is not allowed. And these are the rules. So the second type of unskilled worker visa is the poultry sector. This one has even stricter rules. Again, many people are not aware, and so they end up very, very stranded here, which is why I'm telling you about this right now. So with the poultry sector, there is a specific period of time that you have to apply. So you must put in your application before the 15th of November of that year, which means if you don't apply by the 15th of November that year, you would not be able to move to the UK on this particular visa for that year. But most importantly, for those of you who have actually applied, you only have between the 2nd of October of that year to the 31st of December that year to be in the UK legally. If you count correctly, that's a period of 3 months. So the maximum length of time you can stay in the UK on this visa is 3 months. I want you to drop a comment in the comment section below and say 3 months. That lets me know that you're following through with what I'm talking about, and indeed you're absorbing the information so that you don't make the mistakes that our predecessors and other people in the UK now have made and have ended up in very catastrophic situations that I don't even want to get into in this video. So drop a comment in the comment section below and say 3 months. Also, if you know anybody that can benefit from this information, please share it with them to make sure that they're aware of the terms and conditions, in fact, the strict terms and conditions that are associated with this particular unskilled worker visa. So these are the terms and conditions. Again, for the poultry visa, which means people are going to be moving soon, you cannot switch, you cannot extend. You can only stay for a maximum of 3 months. After that, you have to leave the UK. So that's how it is. In terms of when you can apply for the visa, there's more flexibility because you can apply for this visa up to 3 months, to the date that is on your certificate of sponsorship, but you can physically move to the UK up to 14 days before you're due to start work. So there's more flexibility in terms of that. But the visa itself, let me tell you something, it is one of the most tempting visas to apply for, but at the same time, it is one of the most difficult to manage because when you get to the UK after 3 months, you have to go back home and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to go back. You cannot switch, you cannot extend, you cannot study, you cannot work in other companies, you cannot bring dependents as well. I'm saying this because there are lots of vacancies on Indeed, for example, saying, hey, while recruiting seasonal workers to come to the UK, you can come with your dependents, you can do these. You know what? Look, all of that is not true. And this is why, going back to why the Home Office has made the changes that they have made, all the people many of the people that came during the last season, they didn't want to go back home. So guess what happened? Many of them said to the Home Office, oh my goodness, we spend so much money to come to the UK. We cannot just go back because we've got debts that we have taken. We've sold our land, we've sold our property, we've sold our houses to come to the UK. We cannot just go back empty-handed because our lives are at risk. So the Home Office was like, hey, you're only supposed to be paying £298 in visa fees for this visa. How come you're saying that you've paid £20,000? How come you're saying that you've paid £15,000 to come to the UK for 3 months? Like, this should not be happening. And so these people that had come to the UK, they brought out the evidence and they said to the Home Office, look, this company that has brought us charged us 20,000 and this and that. Because of that, the Home Office has now revoked the licenses from those companies to recruit overseas workers, which means that for this season, you need to be very careful because there are now less than 10 companies in the UK that are legally allowed to recruit overseas workers for this particular visa. Again, like I say, if you go onto Indeed, there are lots of companies there that are advertising vacancies for this particular job, but guess what? They're not legit. Most of them are not legit because there are less than 10 companies that are licensed. This is not one of the other visas like say carer jobs where or carer visa where there are so many companies. With this one, the government only gives the contracts to a fixed number of companies and they are the only ones that are legally allowed to recruit. So this is very crucial information. If you're somebody who's considering this visa, do be careful because this is the visa that actually has the highest level of fraud when it comes to overseas workers and when it comes to just like neglect and everything else, because there are things that at first hand when you look at they seem really amazing. For example, they'll bring somebody at the airport to pick you up, they can pay your flights, there's always accommodation included, there are lots of perks, but those perks come directly from the government because it's a very, very challenging sector. If you're working in the farms in the UK, it's not an easy job. It's a very, very challenging situation. And these farms are generally in the outskirts, isolated away from any kind of life at all, which means that transportation is very difficult. And this is why they have purpose-built accommodation for the workers, and you only pay a small token for this particular accommodation. Again, if you've watched till now, I want you to drop a comment in the comment section below and say accommodation, because it lets me know that you're following through. But because you've watched the video till now, guess what? I'm going to tell you my favorite company to recruit overseas workers for this particular sector. Like I say, for legal reasons, I'm not going to publicly tell you which are these companies that have now lost their licenses. But what I can say is the uk.gov website is your best friend checking the companies. They'll give you a list of the only companies that currently are allowed to recruit overseas workers for this particular sector. So again, I want you to leave a comment in the comment section below and say uk.gov, because that is literally what you put on Google when you go onto that page, uk.gov, and it's going to come out with all those companies. You definitely 100% want to check and ensure that you are only applying to those companies. Don't check on Indeed, because Indeed, like, they're not legit. Those companies are not legit. So don't waste your time. Again, when it comes to this particular visa, is there any advantage at all? Yes, there is an advantage. The advantage is that you're getting UK work experience. For me, this visa enables you to come to the UK to look around to see what the place is like, but that's all it offers, because you cannot switch, you cannot extend, you cannot bring anybody with you, you can't do anything on that visa. Like I said before, if you're coming for the poultry sector, you can only come between the 2nd of October till the 31st of December. That's the only time you can come to the UK on this visa. For horticulture, you can stay for a maximum of 6 months, so that's a little bit better, and you can also apply any time of the year. But this visa, in terms of the numbers, they are always capped by the government. So you cannot just have any number of people coming from the UK, coming to the UK to work on this visa. One thing I'm also going to say is that some of the companies recruiting only recruit from particular countries. So you need to be very wise, very smart when you're considering this pathway. So what is my favorite company, that has stood the test of time when it comes to the seasonal worker visa? Look, if you're somebody who's dealt with me before, then you know what I'm going to say. The company is called Fruitful Jobs. They are the best for me. That's my own assessment when it comes to this, because they have stood the test of time. They do everything possible, that I'm aware of to be able to reduce the chances of fraud. So this is one of the legit companies. Obviously, like I say, it's easy for me to tell you which company is legit than to openly talk about a company that is not legit, because, these are legal things. And so one has to be very, very careful, because you can't just come to YouTube and run your mouth anyhow, because there are, you've got to have respect for other people and what's going on. And that's why I urge you to do a lot of research regarding the things that you're getting into, especially when it comes to visa sponsorship in the UK. So if you're keen to apply, consider Fruitful Jobs, but look at it as a working holiday. Look at it as an opportunity to come to the UK and see what this country is, which means if you have a job, please don't resign from your job. If you're applying for a seasonal worker visa, keep your job, take a holiday, come to the UK and explore. Don't sell your house, don't sell land, don't resign, don't go borrowing money, don't go getting into ridiculous things, because you will be stranded in this country. I tell you that, because there are thousands of people in this position and they now risk deportation. So you need to be somebody that if you're watching my videos, you have to be very smart. So again, I want you to drop the word smart in the comment section. It lets me know that you've watched till now and indeed you are following through with what I'm talking about. So again, this visa should really only cost you £298. That's all it should cost you, because it's such a short-term visa. And like I say, it's got the highest number of T's and C's compared to any other UK visa. But as with anything, obviously, it's got its own advantages as well. So what do you think about this particular visa? Like I said, for this year, 55,000 have been approved. So leave a comment in the comment section below and say 55,000. But I want you to go directly on the website of the legit company that I talked about, so that you can apply directly there if you're somebody who is keen on this particular visa. So again, if you can remember, as a simple test, which is the one company that I've said that is legit and it is indeed my favorite company when it comes to applying for seasonal worker jobs, I would like you to drop the name of that company in the comment section below. It lets me know that you have kind of digested this information and you're serious about this visa journey. I've shared lots of information here about permanent UK visas, work visas that will enable you to come with your family, will enable you to work and study at the same time, will enable you to be free in the UK, to be able to move permanently and know that you're relocating to the UK, because different things work for different people. That's just how life is. So if you need to contact me, like I said, check the comment section below. You're going to see my contact details, my WhatsApp number, as well as my email address. You can contact me at your earliest convenience, or also join my newsletter. But if you haven't subscribed to this channel, like, oh my goodness, really, hit the subscribe button below. And I leave a comment in the comment section below and say, Melvis, I watched till the end. See you here.